Hey everybody, this is Larry, this is me going Q3 of the weekly contest 338, minimum operations to make or array elements equal. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord, let me know what you think about this problem. I think there's a couple of ways you can do this problem. There's definitely a prefix sum and a suffix sum kind of way. And then you could kind of like, do some maths. But the way that I did it is with sliding window. And I'm looking down, which if you're a regular, you know, means that I'm bringing out the drawing pad. You know, I keep on dropping the pen. We pull it up. Basically, the idea is that, okay, you can think about it as, how do I want to visualize this? Right, you can think about it as heights, maybe, right? So, well, first of all, looking at the input, and I don't want to bring it back down, but look at the input. You could sort the input because it doesn't affect the answer, right? Because all the numbers don't matter. So once you sort the input, let's say we have these heights, right? So let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like this. So then it would look like 2, something like that, right? Maybe instead of 4, 5, we have a higher height, and then given maybe a flat, and then a higher one, right? Something like that. And then basically, the way that I think about it, right, is that if a query is kind of, if you just draw a line from here, what does this query mean? Query means that it is the area that is this area, right? Or this area, and this area, right? So that's basically the visual. Maybe this looks terrible, actually. Okay, let's just say it's here, right? And then now I can fill it. There you go. Why did I do it so weirdly? Okay, so that's basically the visualization of what the answer is for each query, right? And of course, you can, draw a different line. Oops, wrong thing. And then you could draw a different line, maybe like a second line, another query with this, and then your thing would be like something like this, right? Pretend. Oops. Okay, you get the idea. I don't know how that kind of whatever, right? So you can kind of visualize it that way. So the idea after this then is actually, for me anyway, like I said, there are a couple of ways you can do it. It's actually sorting the queries as well. So then basically the idea is, I can't erase it enough. Okay, fine. I can undo enough. Right, so something like that, right? So basically the idea then is that you have a line that goes, oops. So basically now you have this line, and then after you sort the queries, this will just go up as you go, right? And then and then obviously if you do it O of n for every query, that's gonna be too slow, and we wouldn't be here. But the idea here is that, well, what changes between these two things, right? The last two queries. Well, the thing is that, okay, so there are only three scenarios. Sorry, the numbers that are to the rectangles that are the rectangles that are smaller than it, like here. Well, it's just gonna keep on going up. So it's gonna go up from maybe this is not a. Let me do a more generic one. Hang on. So let's say here to here, right? So the two rectangles that are smaller, right? Oops. We could draw it like this, right? Let me use a different color. Hang on, right? So now let's say we're doing this. This is the delta, and then now you have this rectangle, well, sum of rectangles, and all it does is that it extends this way, because that's basically how it goes. In that, that's the delta, right? And then you have the other rectangle that previously it is this thing, right? It is the sum of this thing, and then now Okay, well, actually, let me step back for a second. Let's just look at the bigger ones, strictly bigger ones, right? So the strictly bigger ones are these ones, right? And they go all the way up to here previously, but then because of this delta, you know, we can subtract a rectangle from it, right? So that's the good part about, the easy part about these two things is that you can subtract this rectangle and then add this rectangle, right? And then the only thing that you have to do now is now the stuff that's in the middle, you just basically have to calculate the difference between, sorry, change the color. You have to calculate the difference between here, and then do some maths. So that's basically the idea that I did, and then you kind of keep on doing it for every point. I made it sound easy, but honestly, I struggled a lot with this one. The visualization is easy, and actually I got that immediately, but it's very easy to make an off by one error. I actually did not make a tremendous mistake. I think I got a little bit lucky on the coding, but generally it's not a thing that I'm good at. You can watch me solve it live next, of course, but keeping in mind that because of the way that the contest kind of there were issues during the contest, so it's going to jump around a little bit. Let me know what you think. It is what it is. But yeah, as we said, we want to sort the input of the nums. We sort the queries. We have to keep track of the index because we have to know where to put the answer, right? And then we look at the first query, which is the smallest query, because after we sort it, it's the smallest query. We get the answer for the smallest query, the first line, this first scan line, if you will. And then next is just calculating all the deltas, right? So this is the last thing. So this is the delta between the last two lines that we drew as we shift up. And then here, as we said, we add the number of, we add the rectangle that is now increasing, right? And then here, we just do the math on the rectangle, on the numbers that are in between the two queries. By definition, of course, and as an invariant, you know, this will kind of hold for the last thing. So we subtract it from the last the last query, and then we add it to the new query, and then we move the pointer to the right, so that now, yes, because we sorted the nums away, you know, we only have to take account one at a time incrementally, which is something that allows us to do this in O of n time. I mean, after sorting, obviously, just to be clear. And then after that, we subtract the rectangles to the right, as we said, and then that's our answer. And then we update the last thing just for 6. The complexity here, let me make the slice small so I can fit everything on screen. There's going to be sorting on the N, sorting on the Q, and then, but everything else is linear after that. You can see that, you know, the pointer only moves linear number of times, and of course this just goes whatever. So this is going to be O of n log n plus q log q time, and O of n plus q space. Q being the size of the answer array anyway, but we do sorting, so that's definitely q. And because we sort nums, that's O of n as well. So yeah. There's also a prefix sum, suffix sum way with binary search. I think you can, it's based off the same idea, but now you binary search and then you just do a lot of maths. I'll leave it up to you to figure that one out. I knew I was thinking about that one as well, that solution, but I worried about off by ones and also just my maths. So that's why I kind of did it this way. Yeah, that's what I have with this one. So let me know what you think, and you can watch me solve it live during the contest-ish next. Because, well, I guess I'll come back to it. I think now I know how to do it. Okay. Not that it matters, maybe. Okay, so you're given a nums of positive integers. Given an integer array queries. I've queried make all elements of nums equal to query sub I. What does that mean? Oh, so you want to make it all ones. And then basically you want to subtract, okay. So that's 14, okay. Okay, how do we want to do it? Obviously going through the numbers is going to be rough. There's no way this contest is going to count, right? I'm like just really confused all over the place. How do I do this? Let's see. Right, first of all we can sort. And then we what do we do after we sort? I mean, you could binary search, but I don't know. And then maybe do a prefix sum or something. It's kind of a hard problem, I feel, but maybe I'm wrong. And this one is still not loading. I knew I shouldn't have refreshed, but it wouldn't have mattered, I guess. But I don't know how to test it anyway. I feel like there's some like thing about it. The 10 to 5th queries. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Can't believe I'm staying up for this. But let me at least try to figure this out. How do we pre-process this in a better way? Frequency array? I feel like it's something with binary search, but I don't really know. Sorting and binary search. Okay, now I guess it's just not up. I should know how to do Q2, but okay. How do I do this one? We also want to sort the queries. I guess that's the other thing. Okay. And then okay, I see. That's kind of hard actually to kind of do, to be honest. Oh, I can't do that yet. What I want is actually okay, and then now what do we want? Right, so we take the first query. This is kind of annoying to do, really. So we have an answer array. And then dot 0, and then basically for x in nums, x minus first, and then answer of and queries of 0 to 1 is equal to current, right? Okay, and then now we want to see I don't know how. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's just so easy to get wrong, especially since I can't one code or anything like that. it's very hard for me. It's just a lot of maths. If x is greater than first, then, and if x is equal to, then it doesn't really matter anyway, right? So then now for Q index in queries, right? What I actually want is, maybe that's not what I want. What I want is if x is in first, then in now if then okay, and because it's sorted, it should be our first pointer. So then now the current is going to be sum of, okay, this is actually kind of annoying, but okay, so while pointer is less than n and num sub pointer, I wonder if there's a quicker, easier way with this one. I don't know that there is, but it's still basically we no, that's not true. We want the other way, right? We want to get to a pointer where it's bigger. So then now what happens when it transitions, right? Okay, so last is equal to n queries of 0, 0, or just first, I suppose. And then now, so then the delta is going to be q minus the last thing. Last is equal to q, say. Put it at the end. And then basically, well, this is just pointed and then basically I need to do some processing as well though. So delta, so that means that maybe I'll draw it out. And then basically when we're shifting it upwards, what that means is that everything to the left, so something like current times pointer, and then every time that the pointer increments, then nums last one, or maybe even just, okay, so if q is bigger than pointer, but okay, so num sub pointer minus last, right, because last is smaller, so that's the delta that current is going to subtract, and then current sub add q minus num sub pointer, something like that. And then at the very end, oh, this is only, because I also need something like that, right? And then now index is equal to current, something like this, but I'll never be able to test this. Yeah, well, okay, fine. Okay, true false, submit. Okay, good. Let's try it. 14.2 and 20. Oh, this is well. I mean, this is so easy. Let me see if this one first then. 14.2. So for the first number is always going to be right, but why is this wrong? So we have a 5. Oh, this delta is... No, it should be right, maybe. Okay, so then now delta q, delta times pointer, delta times and minus pointer. Okay, so it goes from 1 to 5. Yeah, okay. So that means that the delta is 4. So basically, every number that's to the right of it got, okay. Maybe it isn't quite right. Okay, now, well, that part is true, so, okay. Because now with an okay. I don't know if this is right, to be honest. The examples are not great, so we'll give it a YOLO submit. Okay, good. This one I don't know how to fix. That's kind of the loading screen, pretty much the story of today. So yeah, stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. Oh yeah, wait. Stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see you later and take care. Bye bye.